Good morning, everyone. It is David Schlotthauer here, your weather enthusiast. In this morning's update, we are keeping an eye on major, potentially life-threatening winter storm Elliott as it really bombs out across the Northeast later on today into the overnight hours for Friday. This is going to bring extreme impacts such as heavy snow, strong winds, coastal flood concerns, and most importantly, deadly wind chills. So since there is so much to talk about in this video, we are actually having to look at the National Weather Service here because this clearly states just how significant and life-threatening this winter storm Elliott is going to be. So let's start off looking at wind chill warnings. That is this kind of grayish bluish color that stretches all the way from the Canadian border all the way into the high plains into the Midwest. This also extends well into the Great Lakes, including for much of the deep south as well as the southeast. It's just under other warnings, and that's just a lot of overlapping of different weather alerts for many areas. In fact, I checked one area is under 7 to 8 different weather alerts just to show you how serious this actually is. And then across the Pacific Northwest, you got winter storm warnings, winter storm watches, wind chill warnings, wind chill advisories, and that's due to the very dangerously cold wind chills on top of freezing rain, sleet, and very strong winds that could reach speeds of over 70 miles an hour from the east. So there is significant impacts from this winter storm that are felt all the way across the Pacific Northwest, the northern plains, the high plains, the deep south, as well as the Great Lakes, the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic states. I mean, the entire map basically here that we're looking at is literally smothered with weather alerts, and there is just only a smidge of no warnings or weather alerts over southeastern Pennsylvania right now. You must be very lucky. And also down here across the extreme southeast, under nothing at this time, but I guarantee by tomorrow morning or when we do our live stream later on in the day, this is all going to be covered with every single weather alert that is on this map, all the way from the Pacific Northwest all the way eastward will be just smothered in either an advisory, watch, or warning out there, okay? Just to show you how serious this actually is. So now when we take a look at our HRRR model for Thursday morning for 8 in the morning Central Time, this is 9 in the morning if you're in Eastern Time, on major life-threatening winter storm Elliott as it develops. So the HRRR clearly shows where the snow is going to be falling right at this point in time. So Tulsa, Oklahoma, Bartlesville, Oklahoma, you're going to get quite a bit of snow. If you're in Topeka, Kansas, if you're in northern Missouri, you're looking at some light to moderate snowfall. If you're in La Crosse, you're looking at quite a bit of snowfall right around the 6 o'clock in the morning when this video is released. Thunder Bay, if you're in Huntington, if you are in Marquette, if you are in, say, the up portion there of Michigan, you're looking at a lot of snowfall. And then down to the south here, we're looking at some freezing rain, some sleet, and some pretty intense snowfall rates here over portions of West Virginia, Northern Virginia, as well as Maryland, including for Pennsylvania. That is your 6 in the morning. So let's kind of roll this throughout the day as this storm really unfolds. This is going to become very serious, especially Thursday night into Friday morning. In fact, it may not really be that bad at all compared to with what prior model runs actually showed because of how quick this thing is going to be moving through, but still a pretty big impactful snowstorm nevertheless. So by about 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we can see Memphis, Tennessee, you're going to get hit pretty good. Evansville, Owensboro in Kentucky, it's going to be snowing pretty good. If you're in Bloomington, if you're in Indianapolis, if you're in Lafayette, Indiana, if you're in Urbana, Springfield, you're on the back edge of this, but the cold air is going to be with you for a while. If you're in Chicago, Gary, South Bend, Indiana, Milwaukee, if you're in Green Bay, Wisconsin, you're talking a little bit about snow, but again, the worst is going to be to your east as the colder air moves in. You're on the backside of the storm. But look at this, Grand Rapids, you're going to be in some very heavy snowfall for a while, probably for a few days, once the lake effect snow kicks in. Mount Pleasant, Bay City, you're looking at moderate to heavy snowfall out of this. And then Thunder Bay, going to be pretty rough up there for your Thursday evening. And then, of course, lots of rainfall over Philadelphia, over Harrisburg, over New York, Scranton, Syracuse. You're looking at quite a bit of rainfall. And right in between here, we also have flash freezing. I want to kind of point that out in this video. For a lot of you that were leaving comments earlier, we are looking at a lot of flash freezing concerns because there's going to be moderate to heavy rainfall out ahead of the front, and as soon as that cold air comes in, temperatures are going to plummet so quickly that the water that hits the ground will instantly freeze into ice on roadways, power lines, trees, and lead to widespread power outages, potentially in certain areas that get the most precipitation or in the form of rain before the colder air comes in. All right, so let's go forward in time here. We can see really this is when it gets bad, okay? By about midnight on Friday, we can see Lexington, Cincinnati, Dayton, Ohio, Columbus. If you're in Toledo, Ohio, these are moderate to heavy snowfall rates. There might even be an occasional thunderstorm right along the cold front. Depending on how much lift we have, we will have enough forcing for that. So keep that in mind. When thunder roars, you know you're going to see some thunder, maybe some thunder. It's not a guarantee. It's just showing you how strong this thing actually is. Chattanooga, Tennessee, you're looking at some light to moderate snowfall down there. Also for Atlanta, there is some moisture out ahead of this. That's going to lead to flash freezing concerns, even that far south once the colder air arrives. But once we get past Thursday night, this system is going to pivot into a whole different serious direction here. We're seeing the early stages of this, but then by Friday, this thing really intensifies, bombs out. We're going to see damaging winds. Wait until you see the wind forecast on Weather Bell when I'm about to show you here, because the winds are going to be phenomenal. They are going to be strong over the Great Lakes. That's going to be the hardest hit area out of Winter Storm Elliott. So by 10 in the morning, or actually this is by about 1 or 2 in the afternoon on your Friday, and you can see moderate to heavy snowfall over the Great Lakes, especially here in Buffalo. We are live streaming this. Absolutely. We're going to be live all day on Winter Storm Elliott in the Buffalo area as we are tracking lake effect snow. Watertown, boy, you're going to get hit very hard with lake effect snow as soon as that colder air comes in aloft. And then you can see moderate to heavy rainfall, and this is going to continue. Look at the spin there, and to the south of it, look at this. Lake effect snow is going to continue to hamper or to get in the way of Buffalo. Erie, Pennsylvania could see a little bit, but really right in this stretch is where we are primarily concerned. Right here, I'm circling this in red. Big time snowfall accumulations. We're looking at 21 how do I say it? 1 in 20 ratio, or 10-1 ratio to 21 ratio and 31 ratios, which means for every 30 inches of snow, you get 1 inch of water equivalent. So that's gonna be some dry snow and very powdery as well, which means it quickly accumulates, it blows around, it causes whiteout conditions, blizzard conditions. Hence is why we have blizzard conditions across the Great Lakes, because there is going to be so much snowfall, lake effect, and cold temperatures that's going to keep that snow really powdery and really lead to big problems on roadways. Not really on roadways, but the visibility is going to be very bad and very poor because of how this snow is going to come down. Lots of snow around this system, though, over Canada. So really take this one seriously, folks. This is no joke at all. Now, here's a look at those snowfall totals for the next 60 hours. This is only through 7 in the morning on your Saturday. Yeah, I mean Saturday. That is Christmas Eve. This is not even the whole entire lake effect snow event. This could go all the way into Monday morning, but the high-res models don't go out that far, right? So here's a look at a rough estimate that how much snowfall could end up falling over the Buffalo area of New York. We're talking maybe 43 to 71 inches, actually 70 inches to be exact there. Yeah, you saw it. 70 inches of lake effect snow if this all comes together perfectly. If this waffles a little bit, Some areas may see a little lesser snow, while other areas could get a lot of snow out of this. But either way, this is really a big deal. 70 inches. I mean, that's a lot. All right. Watertown, 7 to 10 inches, maybe 12 inches in some areas. I'm even surprised Watertown may not get as much, but of course, that's a look at this model. I think you will still get possibly a couple of feet of snow out of this winter storm. All right, down to the southeast of it, you're looking at about a foot. If you're in Syracuse, about 1.8 to maybe 5 inches. If you're in Saratoga Springs, about 2.7 inches in the New York region. All right, if you are in State College, possibly 5 to 8 inches. Williamsport, possibly 5 inches. Remember, this is a high-res meso model that we're looking at. All right, so these are going to be different with each model run. These are not exact amounts. These are estimates. Please understand that. All right, Toronto in Canada, 1.4 inches. If you're in Peterborough there in Canada, right around 4 inches are expected. Potsdam, 1.3 inches. Now, when we take a look at Michigan, yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot of snow indeed. Kalamazoo, 15 inches, but look at to its west right here, you might see 2 feet of snowfall if it all comes together. And I mean, this is only through Christmas Eve morning. We have the entire Christmas Eve day to go through. All right, Muskegon, about 19 to maybe 24 inches of snowfall is possible. But right along here, you're looking at maybe 2 feet of snowfall out of this lake effect snow event. Traverse City, 18 to 22 inches. If you're in Alpena there in the Michigan area, you're looking at about 6 inches. Green Bay, maybe 10 inches. Appleton, maybe 10 to 15 inches of snowfall, so maybe a foot in that area. Chicago, you are very lucky. You are not going to get the worst of this at all. Potentially, it looks like most of the models are slowly backing down on this. You're looking at now maybe about 5 to 8 inches at the very most. Well, 8 inches is a lot. Not gonna lie. All right, that's why you're under winter storm warnings, but it's nothing compared to like Michigan, where you're under blizzard warnings, winter storm warnings out of this system. All right. Now, when we take a look here at Wisconsin, another spot that could see exceptional amounts of heavy snowfall accumulation is Ironwood. 42 inches potentially, and to the northeast of that, 61 inches of snowfall. And again, these are all lake effect snow accumulations, mainly not part of the main system at all. This is after the main system passes its way through, but this is going to really add up altogether. Wausau there between 8 to maybe 12 inches. Stevens Point maybe 7 inches. Eau Claire there right around 7 inches. La Crosse 7 inches. Madison 6 inches. West Bend 9 inches. Milwaukee 5 inches. Janesville there about 5 inches. So we are talking a lot about snowfall in this area, folks, but especially to your north and to your east, where lake effect snow is prone to happen. That's where you're going to be seeing most of the accumulations. Not going to lie, you're still under a winter storm warning. Please take this seriously still if you're under that warning. Minneapolis, 3 inches is anticipated. Now for the Ohio Valley, you're talking also a lot about snow, but depending on where it falls, how long it will last will vary a lot. Right now, we're still seeing some differences among the models. Right now, this is the latest NAM 3-kilometer model, indicating possibly 9 inches for Cleveland. Now, Erie, Pennsylvania is not on here, but Erie, Pennsylvania could still squeeze out anywhere between 12 to 24 inches. If you're in Lancaster, you could see as much as 7 inches of snow. Troy, 4.6 inches. If you're in Cincinnati, 4 inches. Dayton, Ohio, about 5 inches. If you're in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 4 to 6 inches. If you're in Richmond, 3 to 7 inches. If you're North Madison there in Indiana, you're looking at about 5 inches of snowfall. And I know it's not on here, but northern Indiana could see a rough estimate between 7 to 15 inches of snowfall, just depending on exactly where the lake effect snow actually sets up. And there is that. There is South Bend there in Indiana, about 15 to maybe perhaps 20 inches. Gary, Indiana, 5 inches. Lafayette, Kokomo, Indiana, coming in both at 2 to 5 inches. Indianapolis, 3 inches. Bloomington, 3 inches. Evansville, 3 inches. Terre Haute, I'm trying to say that correctly, right? I've heard about it on Live PD a lot, so hopefully I'm actually learning from them very well on that. 3 inches. Springfield, 4 inches. Galesburg, 6 inches. Quincy, 5 to 6 inches. If you're in Columbia, Missouri, 4 inches. And right along this area, you might see a little more than 6 inches. St. Louis can see maybe 5 inches of snow out of this winter storm by the time it is all said and done. But remember, this winter storm is not looking as serious across the Midwest as what we thought, but it's still going to bring in a little bit of snow. But what is going to be much more serious is the colder temperatures. That is something else that we really have to talk about. And I mean, it is very, very concerning. All right, so when we take a look at our 06Z run of the HRRR model, we can see this is going to be for 6 in the morning when this video gets released on my YouTube channel, and we can see clearly how cold it's going to be. Anywhere between -10 to -20 degrees. Still could get some temperatures down there as low as -40 degrees in central and western Montana across much, or perhaps 75% of Wyoming could see the coldest temperatures tonight as this cold front really rolls through. In fact, this cold front is so strong, I forgot to tell you all that there was a couple of weather stations during my briefing that had a 40-degree drop. A 40-degree drop in temperatures in about 20 minutes. That is absolutely phenomenal to ever see that happen behind a cold front. It went from like 45 degrees down to like 10 degrees in the matter of about 20 to 30 minutes. Very incredible. So very sharp cold front, really accelerating southward. We can see that by about, say, 1 to 2 in the afternoon for Central and Eastern time for your Thursday. Look at this. Much colder tomorrow. You're not even going to warm up at all. Perhaps if you're in Oklahoma, if you're in Kansas, single digits for these areas. These are not even your wind chills. And look at this. It's going to really remain cold out there. By tomorrow night, look at these overnight low temperatures. Temperatures -10 to -15 degrees, unless you're up over here in the Dakotas and Montana. That's where you're going to see temperatures once again dip into the -20 to -30 degree range for your Friday morning. Very cold, brutal, historic Arctic outbreak in place for the next few days in these areas, including for the deep south. That these are not wind chills, these are actual air temperatures. And so you're going to see single digits, maybe some lower teens out there for your Friday morning. This could kill crops, this could kill livestock. So make sure you bring in your plants, your pets, and anything that you have outdoors. And also, it's a good idea to keep an eye on your outdoor water plumbing, like your pipes and stuff, because to the deep south here, you're not used to this. And outdoor water plumbing could get destroyed. Infrastructure even could get destroyed and could fail because everyone's going to be using their heater because of how cold it's going to be. And this is going to be here throughout Friday. Little bit of a rebound in temperatures for Oklahoma, for Kansas and Texas, and for the deep south. But to the north, it is going to remain very cold, -5 to -15 degrees, because that Arctic invasion is going to remain in place, and it's going to be another chilly night across the Dakotas yet again on your Saturday morning, with temperatures that could get as cold as -15 to -25 degrees. Now, as far as your wind chill forecast goes, that's going to be the big story, and I am not joking about this. This is very concerning. Look at these wind chills for your 6 in the morning hour when this video gets released. We're talking about wind chills, -45 to -55 degrees. There are a couple of plots that some of my viewers were pointing out in my briefing on Discord this yesterday, that these areas right here in particular in if you are in, say, Wyoming, if you are in portions there right on the border of South Dakota and Wyoming, wind chills here could be as low as negative 75 degrees. That is literally unsurvivable. You cannot be outside in that at all, or else you will get frostbite as little as 1 to 5 minutes. That's how cold these wind chill values actually are. They are unsurvivable when you get to that magnitude. So very cold wind chills, and this is going to continue all the way through your Thursday. I mean, wind chills do not get above negative 40 in many areas here of the Dakotas, the Northern Plains, including for a lot of us, not me particularly, but a lot of you that live across the deep south. Look at these wind chill values for your Friday morning. Going to be very cold. I mean, negative 2 to negative 10 in Texas. Look at this for Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, northern Louisiana, negative 5 to negative 15 degrees. That is really far south. That is 30 degrees north in latitude, okay? You guys are further south in latitude than I am, and I'm literally 40 degrees north in latitude. So you can definitely get an idea that this is really unusual, historic, record-breaking wind chill values in the morning. And this is going to continue all the way through Friday afternoon. You're not going to rebound at all. It's going to feel really brutal out there because of these wind chills, including for Tennessee. Look at those wind chills there for you. Could be negative 25 to negative 35 degrees. And then, of course, for the eastern half of the nation, I don't want to forget about you all. That's where the cold front is going to be moving into. And we can see, look at these wind chills, anywhere between negative 29 to negative 35 degrees. And I think I did forget to show you guys the air temperature. I'll go back to that briefly. But look at these higher elevations here that are prone to the strongest winds. Yes, these are the Appalachians, and you might see wind chill values as low as negative 40, negative 45 degrees, maybe even close to negative 50. That is absolutely unbearable, and that's going to continue all the way through Saturday early morning, just in time for Christmas Eve. It is going to be absolutely relentlessly cold outside, and that's why I'm here telling you as much as I can, as you know, to provide you the most detail that I can to make sure you are on your toes when these cold outbreaks do happen, along to go with the heavy snow. And here's those air temperatures. The actual air temperature for Saturday morning, very cold here. Indiana, negative 2. If you're in the Appalachians, negative 15 degrees for the higher elevations. Some of the peaks could actually have temperatures as cold as negative 20 degrees in the morning. So just for your information, FYI, if you're in the higher elevations, could be much colder than the valleys, because as you go up, the air is colder aloft, and that's what typically happens with these cold Arctic outbreaks, right? So that's what you all are going to be dealing with, and that's why the National Weather Service isn't messing around. Now, what's not messing around is the latest European model. These are temperature anomalies. Okay, folks, this is also concerning. Temperatures that are 30 to 50 degrees below average. I mean, you do have a couple of plots here. 50 degrees here, 50 here. I can't find any more 50, close to 50 degrees below average there. So lots of record cold temperatures. I mean, this is pretty significant, historically speaking, perhaps, for this time of the year. Maybe some all-time monthly record low temperatures could be broken because of how intense this cold Arctic air is. And this is going to stick around across the Midwest through Friday, through Saturday, and even for the eastern U.S. Look at these temperatures here. Going back in time, temperatures in Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, West Virginia, the deep south, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama could have temperatures 35 to 45 degrees below average. That is historic, near historic for this time of the year, but definitely some daily records for low temperatures will be shattered because of this Arctic air mass, and then things should rebound by the end of the week. Now, before I do end the video, I wanted to do a summary of what we are dealing with here We just got new blizzard warnings that were just issued here for South Dakota. Yeah, they actually have connected that. So we have blizzard warnings all across this region right now, with the extension of more products over here over southeastern Pennsylvania. So that area is getting narrower. That's closing up, and I guarantee when we go live today on the channel, probably about 10 or 11 in the morning, maybe a little later, this is going to be all closed up, because look at all of the warnings. I mean, this is just, I've never seen a map like this, and I'm not over exaggerating. I mean, this is really ridiculous. I mean, very pretty image that the National Weather Service has actually done for the first time in probably a decade at coloring a map like this. All different colors mean all different things. I mean, this is literally 85, 90%, about 80% of the nation under weather alerts right now because of life-threatening Winter Storm Elliott that is going to bring in some very big impacts that we have not seen in quite some time, especially over the Great Lakes. And speaking of that, the Great Lakes are now under a storm warning. Yeah, that was a storm watch earlier, now under a storm warning. So that says it all right there. This is pretty serious. All right. So before I end this, I do want to thank you all for sharing these videos with your family and friends on social media. It really means a lot to me, because I'm trying my best here at making sure you all are safe and sound, because this is nothing to joke around with. This is very serious. We are dealing with blizzard warnings in a wide population across the U.S. So for me, please share this. Continue sharing this, like the video, and subscribe to the channel, because we are going to be live on this afternoon on the channel, and I'm excited to share with you all with what we are going to be dealing with. Live cameras, live footage, live radar tracking, live interaction with me. It's going to be fun in there, all right? And we will make sure you are entertained, so you don't have to worry about this winter storm quite as much as what you're dealing with right now. All right, thank you all for watching, and I'll be back with you very soon with live coverage on Winter Storm Elliott.